In the last video, we looked at what's your dream and what's holding you back. How does life happen from inside of us outwards? Are you curious? I know I am. Seeing the foundation of how life happens is, I would say, the ultimate key to freedom in your life. It's the difference between just thinking about your dreams and actually living them, having them come true. There's a creative principle, a foundational force, if you will, in the world that we use every second of every day. Have you ever had an idea or inspiration that comes to you out of nowhere all of a sudden? It could be an idea about the topic of a blog you're writing. It could be an idea about a solution for something for your kids. It could be what you want to have for lunch today, something very small and simple. Yeah, I've had that too. We all do. Everybody does. This gift of inspiration seems to be a true for all humans all the time thing that we all do. Everybody gets ideas out of nowhere and inspirations. This creative potential energy is what we use to think thoughts, have ideas, receive inspiration. We also use it for habitual thoughts. Have you ever found yourself driving where you ended up maybe at work, but you'd meant to go home? Or the other way around, you'd meant to go to work, but you ended up at home. I often will end up at the grocery store. Didn't mean to go there. It's my habit. Have you ever noticed yourself making up new rules about life? Maybe it could be a small thing. Maybe the pasta boils over and you think, okay, I'll new rule, never leave the kitchen when boiling pasta. Sometimes it works. You might have to go answer the door though. Or old rules jumping in from things you've made up in the past that you don't really need right now. Or one way that a lot of people use this creative potential for is cycling thoughts around, where you're kind of caught in a loop. Often it's because you want to know the answer to something right now, but there's no way to know it right now. Yeah. Everybody does all of those. Say me too to every one of those situations. And have you ever noticed, and the thing I find it if you can notice this, it's very, very, makes a big difference. And it seems really simple and small. Have you ever noticed that there's a difference to those different types of creative activities? There's a feeling to inspiration. There's a feeling to ideas. There's a feeling to the old rules jumping in. There's a feeling to cycling our thoughts around. In general, one category feels really good and the other category feels really bad. Take a moment for yourself right now, maybe pause the video, to just feel for yourself, what do each of those different things feel like? What does it feel like when an idea or a solution comes to you? What does it feel like, the small knowing of, oh, this is what I want to have for dinner? What does it feel like to cycle your thoughts around? Especially when you know you don't need to. So in all of these examples, we are feeling the feeling of our use of that foundational creative principle that exists in the world. The force of energy that we use to create our worlds. We shape our worlds and we live in them and we feel it 100% of the time. And we all do it. We live in our personal worlds. And we can shape them however we like. And we're all living in our own personal worlds within a larger shared reality. Other ways we express our infinite creative potential is through judgments, discernment, but judging others, opinions, worry, trying to be right, old habits that might be from old rules. I grew up in a household where we had very definite, a right way to load the dishwasher. And it never occurred to me, it's a bit funny now, but it never occurred to me that there would be more than one way to load a dishwasher. And I was very set in my ways because you had to do it right. That meant you were a good person. And this was all well and good until I got married. And my new husband didn't know the rules that everybody knows about loading a dishwasher, except it was only my family I grew up in that made these rules, actual rules. And so I would get really, really mad at him. I'd get so angry because he did it wrong. And surely he knew the rules. And so if he was doing it wrong, he was doing it on purpose for some terrible reason. And except he grew up in a family where there were no rules. You just loaded the dishwasher and ran it. They were very flexible in their dishwasher loading. And so I would get angry and he would get perplexed. And he probably, he thought I was cute, but a little psychotic. And when I realized that I could think again about dishwasher loading, this was really fascinating because I went from being angry like at least once a day to, oh, well, I have a choice now. I can make up dishwasher loading however I want. And I wasn't angry anymore. So my experience, a daily experience of anger, went from quite high anger, at some points considering divorce over a dishwasher, to absolutely neutral. That was really interesting. Have you ever had a time where there was something like that, where you shifted very fluidly all of a sudden? We do it all the time. We don't even notice that we do it. It's part of how we're designed to use that creative power that we have at our fingertips. It might have started, things like rules you have around something might have started a long time ago. It might feel very solid. You might think it up a lot. But we're creating it fresh in every moment, even though it might feel very, very familiar. If I didn't think up my kind of husband loading dishwasher program, if I didn't think it in the moment, I didn't feel it. It's not like I was angry with him all the time. I had to create it in the moment. And I just happened to create it in the moment every single day. Knowing this fact of where our feeling comes from. Our feeling comes 100% of the time from our creations of thought. Like the husband dishwasher loading, creation of thought, feeling. Knowing this fact of where that comes from is what changes everything. Things will start to shift without our actually even trying to. Because in the moment we realize, oh, do I want to keep doing this? Maybe yes, maybe no. If we believe that our feeling is coming from something outside of us, like if his behavior was actually the cause, which it really wasn't, it had nothing to do with him, but I would spend my life trying to change him. Or if I think my thinking is the problem, I will spend my life trying to change that, or a particular happening outside of me. And it's exhausting and it's never ending because it's not the actual cause of my feeling, nothing outside of me. I'm just now imagining the futility, or whenever I've tried to change other people, like my husband, it never goes well for me. And I'm sort of, laughing inside, like, how'd that go for you if you've ever tried that? I don't think it ever goes well. Once we recognize what we are doing and that our thoughts and feelings are fluid and they're not as solid as we think they are, we can let them dissolve. They only have solidity if we think that they are solid. On their own, they're very fluid. We are meant to flow. Once we stop going outside of ourselves to find a solution to fix something, everything starts to shift on its own. We begin to have insights. Those insights start to flow. We begin to let go. We can let our husbands load the dishwashers however they want. We can relax. Our natural clarity that's part of who we are starts to shine through and resurface. Once that happens, there's a knowing. We don't have to think about what action to do. Action becomes natural. It flows. It's effortless. We become clear. We can follow through with action. Our focus begins to shift towards what feels right for us, what's good for us in the moment. We start to move forward towards our dreams and our goals. Step by step, we take action that makes sense to us. Have you ever been so focused on a really big problem, something that looks like a really big deal, and you have to fix it, and it's taking up your whole world. You might be losing sleep over it. And then have you ever, for whatever reason, all of a sudden forgotten about that problem, and then it just disappeared? What do you make of that? We create and dissolve worlds in every moment, all day long. We're so good at it. The creative energy of life that powers everything. We use it all the time, and it's very, very fluid. It only looks solid if we think it up as solid. Once we let go, it's on its own, it's like smoke. It's like a cloud that dissipates and just keeps on floating by. And it looks funny to me, but it's true every time. When we take our own thinking seriously, it looks serious to us and it becomes solid and real, but only because we took it seriously. Like my dishwasher example. So when we stop taking our thinking so seriously and it becomes more fluid, everything changes. However, I want to go back to when we do take it seriously, our bodies respond and they take on the shape of our thinking in the moment. And they do that whether it's positive or negative. And we know our bodies are the mechanism by which we feel that. It's the mechanism by which we're bringing, empowering, we're bringing our reality to life. It's a steering tool. It's our navigating tool. It's the way we know where we are. Most commonly, though, people don't realize what that tight or tension feeling in their body means. So they innocently double down on the types of mental creative activities that created or made the tension and the tight feeling in the first place. Then it gets worse. And then they double down on it again. And then it gets more worse. And you kind of whip yourself up. That tightness, that anxiety, that tension feeling, it's literally our signal to slow down. Take a minute. Pause. Take a breather. think again. It allows us to take a minute to spool back down so that we're going the other way now. And we naturally, in the pause, we naturally spool back down. We don't actually have to really do anything. And then we return to our natural calm that's at the starting of it all, always. And then we're ready for anything. What often comes to mind is a scene from, in our family, we really like the Jurassic Park movies. And there's a scene in one of them where a character called Claire, one of the newer ones, she is worried about the dinosaurs because they're running away from them. And she's all spinning. And she takes a minute and you can see her she takes a deep breath and you can see her just dropping down. She changes her outfit, ties her shirt. She says, "I'm ready." And she is, using her natural ability to just drop everything in the moment and become ready for anything. We literally use that creative force to shape our lives. And we can shape it what we want, not just what we have always done up until now. We're artists creating with a paint box. We're creating our lives, which I find really cool. It's common to think, a lot of people at this stage will start to think, well, if I've created something that has a really strong feeling to it, it feels really urgent, it feels really bad, or if I've been thinking something for a very long time, it must be really hard to change. Once you've seen how it all works, though, you can't unsee it. You're on an entirely new trajectory. Change becomes easier and easier. It really doesn't matter how long you have been creating a particular cloud of thought. It's still a cloud. It's still made of smoke. And we begin to recognize thought as just that, smoke. And we begin to stop believing in it. And that stops powering it. So if we are the power behind it all, using the creative intelligence of the universe to create our experience, who or what are we? Well, I'm really glad you asked. Take a minute to wonder about that for yourself just now. Who or what are you? And I will see you in the next video where we talk about just that. Who are we? What are we? And what is beyond us? I'll see you there.